Consolata Chibalonza, welcome to the edition dated the 22nd of April 2024. A lot indeed we have in store for you. I do hope that you will stay with me till the very end. We kick it off with some rather saddening news of recklessness, if I may say. 6 people have been confirmed dead after being involved in a road carnage on the Narok-Molot Road in Narok County. The police report indicates that the carnage, which occurred at Silanange area, involved a Subaru Forester colliding head-on with the Toyota Sienta while attempting to overtake. Police say the Sienta, carrying 6 passengers, was heading towards Mulot, while the Subaru was heading towards Narok. All 6 occupants of the Sienta vehicle died on the spot, while the driver of the Subaru sustained minor injuries.
On 21st of April 2024, we had a fatal road accident that is along Narok-Bomet Road, a place called Siranka. This involved the 2 vehicles, a Sienta and a Subaru Forester. The Sienta was headed towards Murot direction, whereas the Subaru Forester was headed towards Narok direction. As a result of the accident, unfortunately, we lost 6 lives, and we had 11 passengers, that is inclusive 2 juveniles who were rushed to various hospitals within Narok County, and the bodies of the 6 deceased were taken to Narok County Referral Mortuary.
Mimi venye niliingia nilikuwa Facebook, so sikushughulika na speed. Hata ikianguka yenyewe mimi sikujua, nilistuka tu nikiamshwa. Ningeuliza serikali, hizi gari venye zinabeba excess, kwanza hizi probox, hizi gari dogo dogo ziache kubeba hivyo excess, cause tuseme kama tungekufa sisi wote, ama venye ilianguka tungekufa sisi wote. Tulikuwa watu wengi sana, tulikuwa watu 10 na inafaa kubeba watu 7. Yeah.
Hapo tulipokuja tukaenda kwenye hospitali yetu ya referral, tukasimama hapo karibu masaa mawili tunafukuzwa.
Now, as the doctor strike enters its 40th day, clinic officials now say they will continue with demonstrations tomorrow until the government implements the agreement. So far, the government and KMPDU have agreed on all issues raised, including payments for resident doctors. The doctors' union, along with the Council of Governors and the national government, are meeting to discuss this matter, where doctors are demanding resolution of the 19 issues they raised. The court has granted stakeholders more time to reach an agreement on these issues, with doctors ordered to ensure essential services are not disrupted.
On strike because it has been made a necessity, and mostly by the 47 county governors and the 47 county governments. As my GS has said, tomorrow we are having a procession because we have a problem with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. When ourselves and the ministry have agreed on enhancement of the risk allowance, they still take their time. And actually, on the part of the national government, the prolongation of the strike by clinic officers is from the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, because the ministry asked them to approve so that they can be able to conclude, we can be able to enter into a return to work agreement. But SRC does not seem to be bothered.
But we have more of a deadlock on one of the issues, that is the issue of internship, where the government has a stand that we need to await for the court process before we discuss it. But we have had the idea that this is a matter of collective bargaining agreement in the CBA, and therefore it should be honored, and the intern doctor should be posted immediately as per collective bargaining agreement. So that's the point of departure on that thing. And therefore, this morning we were meeting with the religious leaders, particularly for us as KMPDU. We want them to pray to soften the stance and the hearts of the government.
And it's a flooded affair. A shocking incident occurred yesterday in Ruaka, Kiambu County, after the walls of 3 rental buildings collapsed, resulting in the death of 1 person. Kiambu County Disaster Response Units promptly responded to the residents' call for help, raising many questions about the safety of buildings in the county. Dr. Nganyi reports.
The county government of Kiambu has ordered the evacuation of tenants living in 3 residential apartments in Ruaka on Monday at 6 a.m. after a section of the perimeter wall collapsed on an adjacent iron sheet residential structure due to the ongoing heavy rains, resulting in the death of 1 resident and injuring another, while a 3rd person was rescued by the county government's disaster management team during the operation. Governor Kimani Wamatangi, who was among the first people to arrive at the site, ordered the immediate evacuation of residents living in the 3 apartments at the site until the integrity of the buildings was certified by a multi-agency team comprising county and national government officials as a safety precaution.
Kwa ajili ni muhimu sisi tudhibitishe ya kwamba kila nyumba hapa liko salama kukaa na kuishi ndani. Nimeamurisha ya kwamba tuite multi-agency team yetu ya hapa serikali ya kaunti ya Kiambu pamoja na ya serikali kuu ambayo tuliunda zamani pamoja na serikali kuu, serikali ya Nairobi County na serikali ya Kiambu County. Nakumbuka tulikuwa mbeleni na shida fulani hapa Ruaka ya nyumba na kule Ruiru. Na baada ya hiyo tukaweza kuunda timu pamoja ambapo tulisema tutakuwa wakati kuna mambo kama haya tunafanya uchunguzi na kukagua kwa kina kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna shida hata moja yenye inaweza kuwapata watu wetu.
Wamatangi said his administration will continue inspecting all buildings from the construction stage to the completion, as well as monitoring the safety of all structures to ensure that such tragic occurrences are avoided at all costs.
Kwa ule muda unawezekana mdogo zaidi, hata kama ni siku moja ama siku mbili, tuhakikisha kwamba ripoti imetoka ya ukaguzi na inakuonesha kwamba unaweza kuishi ndani ama hauwezi kuishi ndani, lakini hatutachukua risk ya kuacha watu wakiwa ndani ya nyumba kabla hatujapata habari kamili.
Dr. Ngani reporting for EBN TV.
And now, still on floods, Nairobi residents living along riverbeds and high areas have been ordered to relocate with immediate effect following flooding incidences in the city. In a statement on Monday, April 22nd, 2024, the Nairobi County government also ordered that all excavations along riparian lands be suspended immediately. The orders came after Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja chaired a multi-agency team following the heavy rains witnessed in Nairobi over the weekend, leading to flooding and destruction of property.
As we look at many of the areas,
We do apologize for that. We're taking a short break, but when we come back, we shall be continuing on the issue of flood. Now, remember, my esteemed viewer, that floods have been raging all across the country. And according to the weatherman, this situation is going to continue for quite some time now. Why? Because the rains are upon us. Now, the rains have not only been witnessed in Kenya as a nation, but the whole world. We have seen incidences where Russia, Tanzania, our neighboring countries, Tanzania, Burundi, even the Democratic Republic of Congo, have witnessed heavy rains leading to loss of lives and a destruction of property. This is EBN TV, where we are transforming your world.
Watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
As we look at many of the areas, including where we are, we can see that there's actually a lot of encroachment and obstruction of the normal path of the rivers. There's a fence we'll go and see across there, of one of the estates that is right on the river, and that should not be the case. Okay, we are also telling the people of Nairobi that our disaster teams are on standby 24 hours, 7 days a week. They can call our toll-free number 1508 at any time. We have ambulances on standby across the city, and that number goes straight to our emergency operations center that can be able to dispatch any assistance that is needed. Also, we are appealing Nairobians to listen to authorities, the sub-county admins, the ward admins, the DCCs and the assistant county commissioners, who are asking them to move to higher ground in those places that are affected. They should be able to heed those calls, because it is really for their safety. It is for our safety for us to be able to do that. So just call 1508. Let us know if any of what we've said needs to be done is not being done by somebody else. We must be vigilant also as the people of Nairobi. These rains are happening across the country, across the world. We've seen them in many parts of the world, Dubai, Oman and all that. So in terms of disaster mitigation, we need to be ahead of the game. We know that it's going to rain again tonight, it's going to rain tomorrow, and so while our engineers are working and we've given equipment across the sub-counties, we also need to heed. If you're told not to cross a certain bridge, don't cross it. I'm very happy with the Green Army. The Green Army has done a lot of work. It could have been much worse across the city, by just removing the garbage and the silt that is in our drainage system. So at least that is happening. We must be pragmatic in the interventions that we're making, and be alive to the fact that there are certain investments, but those that are completely outrageous, just in the wrong place, just as happened with the Timor a few years ago, with UK Center, we will not hesitate to take such action where need be. What is ultimately for us is to save lives, and that people must just follow rules. If you follow rules, then we would not have to have certain cases where we even lose lives. Just rules must be followed by everyone.
Now, Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti has warned residents of the county against moving to flood-prone areas due to heavy rains that have caused residents of Kinanie to flee their homes after flooding. Meanwhile, she cautioned residents against crossing rivers and drivers from driving through flooded rivers, as it risks their lives and those of the passengers. The governor urged Kenyans to pray for the nation following an increase in disaster incidents.
Red Cross walikuwa on the ground na tulikuwa na communicate na hao, na wakafanya vizuri, wakajaribu kurescue hao watu wakitumia boat. Sisi tulipofika tukapata at least wamerescue watu karibu wote, isipokuwa mmoja tu ndio tulipata habari kwamba amekataa kutoka kwa ile miti ambayo wamejizuia hiyo mvua.
Tumekuwa na shida mingi hapa kuanzia 3D, mahali watu walikuwa maji imeingia kwa nyumba. Tumetuma matingatinga zetu huko, zimefungua hizo mitaro, maji yameanza kupita. Na sio hapa tu peke yake, ukiangalia toko huko kwingine ndani kulikuwa na shida mingi sana, lakini ile shida kubwa sana ilikuwa hapa. Watu walikuwa katikati ya mito. Nilitoka asubuhi, nikitoka nikakutana na one of our village managers, akaniambia kuna shida mingi. In fact nilikuta maji iko karibu na barabara. Just requesting my people, tafadhali, mkiona saa hii mito imeanza kufurika, tafadhali tokeni kwa mito. Kama tuko na wengine wako hapa mto wa mawe, tumeweka gari zetu standby hapa, na tumekubaliana sisi wote hapa kama team, if we see there is a danger, tumeweka magari, hao watu waende wachukuliwe, waletwe hapa, walale hapa, kuna chakula, kuna kila kitu. We do not want to lose our people. We have not lost anybody apart from one person who was very naughty. Alienda ile bridge pale, akatembea, anaulizwa tu unafanya nini, akatembea kufika huko, maji akamzomba, akafanya nini, akaenda. A disaster. We also have our disaster center in Machakos, and people can always call there and the phones are working, so if there's anything wakipiga simu, sisi wote, whether whichever sub county, tutashikana na wale wa hiyo sub county, twende tusaidia watu wetu. So we are prepared.
Now, Nairobi and Machakos are not the only counties that are suffering from the huge rains. And in the village of Kiaga, Kirinyaga County, residents are estimating losses after their houses were demolished by flooding. According to these residents, this is due to heavy rains that continue to fall in the area, causing flooding in the village. Last night, they found their houses filled with water and some narrowly escaped death, saving their lives. They couldn't salvage anything as all their houses collapsed. Now, they have called on the government to take action by digging drainage ditches to divert water to avoid further losses, as even crops were destroyed by the huge rains.
Mvua ikikunja, ikaharibu manyumba, haya vitu vyote vikateremuka, tukaacha hivyo. Tukikaa hivyo, watu wakakunja, wakatupatia chakula, watu wengine wakatupa nguo cha kuvaa.
Tuliamka asubuhi ya Monday, tukakuta maji menjaa kwa samba, kwa manyumba mengine, nyumba zilianguka, tukashindwa, nyumba zimeanguka. Hata mama soso mwingine hapa aliangukiwa akiwa ndani, alikuwa anatolewa usiku. Kama sipokuwa ni kapati ingine ilikuwa kwa nyumba, tungimkuta kama amekuba. Hiyo ndio ilisuia mapati, ikafanya nini, akakuwa hapo chini. Sasa alitolewa, tungikuwa tukiongea mambo ya matisi. Unaona,
maji iliingia wakati wa saa 6 kwa unusu, tukaokoa mama yangu, alafu na mtoto wangu na mtoto wa brother yangu. Lakini upande huu mkiona vile tunakaanga, kutoka upande ule ni maji yote, mimea yetu yote haiwezi ikafaulu. Labda hii ndio tutakula hapa tu, hakuna kitu kingine. Sasa tunamuomba msaidie kwa vile Mungu atamumbili. Kuna naje usiku maji ikaingia, nyumba ya mama ikabomoka. Akapiga nduru.
Sasa usiku wa kuamkia Sunday usiku saa 8 hivi tulisikia mvua inanyesha. Sasa mtoto wa my sister akaniita saa 8, akaniuliza, "Anko, kwako kuna maji?" Nikamwambia acha nisimame niangalie. Kuamka kuteremsha miguu chini, nikakuta kuna slippers zangu zimebebwa na maji. Sasa nikaamka nikaweka gumboot. Nikakuja usiku kwa my mother. Nikakuta amechukuliwa na mtoto wa my sister. Sasa alikuwa amelaliwa na mawe. Hii mawe ya nini? Bricks. Hii ya mawe ya mchanga.
Indeed. I hope you're keeping warm and that you are braced for the weather, because according to the weatherman, it's going to be one long rainy season. Now, away from the rains, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has called for the removal of illegal arms from the hands of civilians without permits, citing it as a threat to security forces combating crime in the country and other East African regions. Speaking at the Small Arms Conference, Rexa Kindiki said that Africa has a great opportunity to strengthen its development and security, but insecurity fueled by the possession of small arms remain a major challenge.
We in this part of the world have a challenge to find ways of comprehensively and permanently eradicating illicit trafficking in small arms and light weapons, because I am persuaded that minus the instability that small arms and light weapons are causing in our region, Africa is the next frontier for the civilization of the world. As you are aware, the participation of Africa in the first, second, third, fourth industrial revolutions has been minimal. The matter of the negative and debilitating effects of small arms and light weapons in our region is as urgent and is as a priority as it was during the formation of Rexa. As you're aware, illicit trafficking in small arms and light weapons continue to fuel conflict in many of our countries. It continues to undermine governance in many of our countries. It continues to impede socio-economic development in many of our countries.
Now, the Law Society of Kenya is now demanding a swift investigation into the fake fertilizer scandal distributed to farmers. This was revealed during a press conference where the president, LSK President Faith Odhiambo, stated that the society has given the relevant ministry a deadline to form a task force to thoroughly investigate the matter, as food security is at risk. Now, more of that story will be featured on our preceding bulletins. President William Ruto has urged African youth to embrace digitalization and lead the digital transformation agenda in the continent. Speaking at the inaugural Africa Connected Summit 2024, the president said that African nations must embrace digital reforms quickly to accelerate economic growth across the continent. He also urged investors to focus on investing in Africa's future, as it is the best decision they can make.
Higher digital inclusion will intensify job creation and will help us deal with the challenge of poverty. Beyond infrastructure, a thriving digital economy requires the presence of a sizable and highly skilled digital workforce to build on advances in digital technology and to drive innovation and productivity, thereby creating a dynamic ecosystem which ushers enterprises into the digital economy and enables them to scale up successfully. With the establishment of these essential foundations, the private sector should automatically emerge as the primary driver across the spectrum of emerging transformative use cases. I am in full agreement with everyone here that at the heart of our digital transformation are our young talents, brilliant minds who are actively contributing to the growth of the global technology sector, marking out Africa as an indispensable hub of technological innovation. And I saw many of them as I went through the various booths. Driven by bold creativity and an indomitable entrepreneurial spirit, African youth are pioneering advances in fintech, agri-tech, renewable energy, and digital services. They are a generation which has been socialized to internalize technology as a basic need and way of life that is essential not only for economic growth, but also as a vital tool for solving the most pressing challenges of our time, including improving access to basic services like education, healthcare, and for facilitating sustainable resource management. It is also the reason we are gathered here as this inaugural Connected Africa Summit mobilizes all of us together with our esteemed global partners to collaborate with ambition and transcend our challenges, enabling Africa to rise towards it.
All right. Now, elsewhere, leaders of the Azimio la Umoja coalition in Bungoma County have criticized the national government for misusing public resources in activities that do not benefit the lower class citizen. Our reporter from Western Kenya, Duncan Kwoba, has compiled a detailed report on this issue.
A few days after Deputy President's spouse Dorcas Gachagua visited widows in Bumula constituency, the leaders from Azimio la Umoja coalition led by Bumula MP Jack Wamboka have strongly criticized the meeting led by Pastor Dorcas Gachagua. The Azimio leader spoke this in a ceremony to elevate women groups from West Bukusu ward in Bumula constituency.
Lakini leo mimi ni mbunge, tuko na ma-MCA wenzangu hapa. Hiyo mkono lazima ifanye nini? Lazima ifanye nini? Na sisi ni kusema na kutenda.
Wamboka and the Misehu Ward MCA Milia Masungo have said that it is a huge shame for the government to use public resources inappropriately.
Ambaye haina rada, wanatuma mtu anakuja hapa kupatia mama ametoka Tongareni, wanamlete Bumula kumpatia shilingi 100. Je, huo ni ungwana?
Niambie mama bibi ya mheshimiwa Deputy President, wamama wajane wa Bungoma ni wengi sana, wamama single mothers wa Bungoma ni wengi sana, na kuna serikali wakati ilikuwa inaandikisha wamama wajane. Nataka akikuja hapa angetuambia ni wakati gani mwisho walipokuwa wakiandika mambo ya wajane, mambo ya watoto mayatima.
On other hand, Wamboka also slammed the government for what it terms as giving public job to privilege, saying that there are only 2 communities in the country that have benefited from Kenya Kwanza government.
Na ndio mimi nataka nyinyi tuangalie mbele. Ukienda Rift Valley, hakuna mtoto aligraduate ambaye ni mwalimu ambaye yako nyumbani. Hakuna. Wakiappoint KRA, wana-appoint paka koti inakataa. Yani you lack bad manners, paka koti inasema bwana, hata kama ni kukua mkabila, this is too much. This is too much. Na watu wetu wamekaa, tuko serikali. The
legislator also has cumulated that some leaders from Bungoma County have criticized the opposition when performing their role, especially against privatization of sugarcane factories in the country.
Na nataka kutoa onyo kwa viongozi wengine hapa Bungoma. Mtu anasimama anasema Wamboka anapigania Nzoia, Bumula hakuna miwa. Shemoni. Huyo mtu hajui kwamba hapa Bumula tuko na weighbridge ya Nzoia inaitwa Weyeta weighbridge. Hajui. Na mimi sio kiongozi wa Bumula peke yake. Wewe wakati walikuwa wanauza pan paper, walikununua na mapeni machache sana.
Duncan Kwoba for EBN News, Bumula constituency, Bungoma County.
And with that report from Duncan Kwoba, we call it a wrap here from our studios at EBN TV. My name is Consolata Chibalonza. Thank you very much for keeping me company. Make sure you keep yourself warm. You stay out of the rains if possible. And when you're out, make sure you're well covered. Your raincoat is there, your umbrella is there, your jumpers are well intact. And as you go home, stay warm. We do wish you a good night and God bless. I'm Consolata Chibalonza. Until next time.